Hi, girls. I hope you're doing okay. And it's a new English lesson. This is Miss Omeima. I'd like you to kindly bring your book. If you don't have a book, then you would bring your booklet, okay? It says student's book on it, 6. It's the Collins one. I gave you girls copies of it on Thursday. Please make sure that you have it in front of you. You will also need your English notebook and of course a pencil and an eraser if you need one. So today is September 19th, 2021. The name of our lesson or the unit that we're going to be starting with is backwards and forwards. Okay, I'd like to remind you of our school's mission and vision. At Brighton, we want to create a modern and an integrated personality for our students within a secured environment which helps motive, moral values, and scientific merit are key features. Now, our school's mission is to provide an education sustained by values in order to build the nation. And by values, that means that we have a value system. For this month, we are working on knowledge. This is our month's value. Okay, knowledge means the facts, information, and skills that we acquire through experience or education. So knowledge means everything that we learn. And this does not mean you learn from older people. You can learn from someone your age. You can learn from someone younger than you. Always seek knowledge. This is a motto that you need to keep in mind at all times. You should always seek knowledge. Okay, so for today's lesson, we are going to have 2 main objectives. The first one, towards the end of the lesson, you're going to be able to read, to follow the development of events by predicting what will happen next. So you're going to be reading part of a story, okay, because of course we're not going to finish the whole thing today. Towards the end of the lesson, I want to hear your predictions. What do you think is going to happen? This is our first objective. We're going to work on building the skill because it's a very important one. Number 2, students will be able to determine the meaning of words with prefixes. Okay? So, what are the elements of a story? Now, there's always a hook. Okay? A hook means the way, it's like a hook. What is a hook in our everyday lives? If you've been fishing, you know this. A hook is something that a fisherman attaches to their rod. The rod is the fishing equipment. And this hook, they put a worm on it, okay? This worm goes inside the water, of course, and the fish literally swim to this hook that has the worm on it. And that way the fisherman is able to catch all the fish. So a hook is a way that, or a word, it's a metaphor for a meaning something that grabs people's attention. It hooks them to what they're about to read. So each successful story out there has a hook, something that catches people's attention. Because if there's not a hook, then nobody's going to care about the story. And if no one cares, no one reads it. Okay? There is also characters. If there are no characters, then there's no story. And of course, a setting. A setting is the time and the place. Where's everything happening? There has to be a time. There has to be a place. If there's no place, then there's no story. So these 3 are essential. Now, these 3, when they meet, there's a problem. If there's no problem, there's no story. No one is going to tell us about a daily event of someone living a normal, happy life. There has to be a problem. This problem is what we learn about. Okay, now the problem escalates. Escalates means it rises up to it reaches something called a turning point. A turning point is the climax. Okay, the climax means the point in the story that people or characters are stuck. They either fall back down all the way to the problem and they're stuck with it for the rest of their lives, or They learn to overcome the story and find the conclusion. So the turning point is the top of the mountain. You either fall backwards and you stay stuck in the problem, or you fall frontwards and you find the solution. The solution is called the conclusion or the resolution. And this does not happen over time. It follows through following actions, gradually, step by step. Okay, now we're going to watch this video.
Characters, setting, and events. When we read a story, there are 4 important questions that we need to ask ourselves: who, where, when, and what. I ask myself, who are the people, animals, or any make-believe creatures that are in the story? We call these the characters. I ask myself, where and when is the story taking place? I call this the setting of the story. What are the big moments in the story or the action parts in the story? We call those moments the events. Let's listen together to this very short story and identify or find the characters, setting, and events. It was Sunday afternoon when Jenny and Daisy decided to go outside in their backyard to play. They decided to play hide and seek because it's their favorite game to play together. To know who the characters are in this short story, I ask myself, who is this story about? Of course, it's about Jenny and Daisy, so the characters are Jenny and Daisy. To know the setting of this short story, I ask myself, where and when did it take place? I know that it took place in the backyard, and I know that it happened on a Sunday afternoon. So the setting is in the backyard on a Sunday afternoon. To know the events of the story, I ask myself, what was the action happening in the story? And I know that they were playing hide and seek, so that is the event of the story. Remember that characters, setting, and events are only just 3 parts that make up a good story. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so this video is basically going to help you girls figure out the elements of the story. Okay, so now we've just watched this video that would aid and assist you on the elements of a story. Now, I need you to grab your notebook, okay? Make sure that you have it in front of you. I already asked you to do so at the beginning of the lesson. So now open a new blank sheet of paper, and I want you to write the day, date, and title. Today is Sunday, September 19, 2021. Okay, and our title is Backwards and Forwards. Now, you're going to start a story map right now. But of course, you're not going to finish it now. You're going to finish it as we read. Okay, now just a quick reminder, this is a story map. It has to look literally like a mountain. And it has a problem here, so you can draw an empty box. You're going to write some stuff over here for the rising action. You're going to write something here, and then of course down here, and finally down there. So you also need your booklets because we still don't have our books. You're going to open page 1 of the booklet. Let's answer these questions together, and then we are going to start with the reading part. What is the most interesting book title you have ever read? What is a book title that you've read that just amazed you? Okay, have you ever been misled by a book's title, which means you thought it was something, but it was something else? The story you're about to read is called Hall of the Bulls. Do you know what a bull is? It's a big, big animal. It kind of looks like an ox, okay? A bull, it's the one that in Spain, if it sees the color red, it goes crazy. They always have these rodeos for them, okay? That's a bull. Look at the title and pictures. What do you think the story is going to be about? Okay, Hall of the Bulls. Here's a bull, by the way, the shadow. And there's Hall of the Bulls. You need to know the name of the author. His name is Tom Bradman. I want to listen to your thoughts. What do you think the story is about? Now, clearly, it is an adventure. So it's safe to say that the genre of this selection is an adventure. Okay, I want you girls to kindly write that down. Okay, let's just go ahead and fill in a text box or a shape box. Okay, I'm sorry about that, girls. Let us fill in a text over here. So the genre, you can write this on the side, adventure. Genre means the type of story. What type of story is this? That's called genre. And of course, clearly it's an adventure. Adventure means something that has people going out of their way to try to solve things. Okay, girls, just ignore this text box in the middle. I'll get rid of it later. So the genre is adventure. Please make sure you have that written down. Okay, now I'm going to give you, do you need 5 or 10? 10 minutes to kindly read this on your own. Okay, and then of course we're going to have our discussion. Okay, so now that the 10 minutes are over, I'm going to kindly ask you to share your answers for Story Mountain. Of course, I'm going to pause the recording for now. I'm not going to record this part. And we're going to share it together. As soon as you're done, I want you to go to chapter 2. And I'm going to give you also another 10 minutes to read this. Of course, add to your story map. We're going to share answers. Okay. Now that we've come to an end of our lesson, I would like you to kindly summarize the first 2 chapters of the story. Now, summarize means to write the main events that happen using your own words. Okay, write the main events of the story using your own words. Okay,